Bucs win, Bucs win, Bucs win. It's just another victory Monday, but we'll get into that. I'm Coach Slick. This is the post-game show. Welcome to it. I do sound a little rough. We've had my team's had its first week of OTAs. There's a reason I'm called Coach Slick. And that's because I coach football in the UK. But right now my voice is pretty hoarse because I've shouted a lot. And we're in our second OTAs. We've got one more to go before we hit our preseason, and we're rocking and rolling on that. But the Buccaneers somehow find a fucking way to win 26-23 against the Carolina Glitter Kitties. I'll take the win. It was not fucking pretty in any shape or form. We deserved it. I don't care what anyone says. Both sides of the ball were shit. Shit out of luck. Weren't good at all. Yep. Christopher Cole nailed it on the head. Heart attack game. It was too much. But I will take the win. I will take the victory Monday. I will take it. And I will take it because this team can get better from it. This team faced adversity. And yeah, it was against poorer competition. It was. Generally was. It was against a 3-8 team, now a 3-9 team, thanks to us. But the thing you got to take into account is this team has faced adversity and come on the wrong side of it. If we just came in and whooped that ass, there's no lesson to be learned. The hard lesson to learn here is the team dug it in and found a fucking way. And I'll take that. Yeah, I'd like to shellac teams fucking up and down the field. I'm not trying to say, oh no, we need adversity all the time. I'm just saying this little bit of adversity is a building block potentially for the rest of this season. Because when this team gets to the playoffs, there may be some adversity that they're going to fight through. And they'll come back to this moment. Okay, that's how I look at it. This Buccaneer football team has been on the receiving end of overtime losses and last minute in bullshit that they pulled it out this week. It is against inferior competition. I get that. But it's the adversity that they needed to get through. That adversity helps the belief. It's all part of the fucking plan. Yes, it does fucking help that their kicker could not kick for shit. But I'm telling you this, how they call the game if they get those kicks is completely different to how they would call the game if they missed those kicks. You can't turn around and go, well, if we had our kicks, we'd have won the game. Well, no, because they may have not got the touchdown that they got in the fourth quarter. That touchdown may never existed because they had two scores on it. You see what I'm saying? There's so much that goes into it. You can't just turn around and say, oh yeah, well, if we made our kick, we win the game. It doesn't work like that. You're not adding them to your score because the score line changes. And, how you play once you get those is completely different. Like you're more aggressive in certain areas. Maybe you run the ball more. Maybe you call different calls. So I don't really look at it from that perspective as like, oh, my team missed 3 field goals. If we would have kicked those field goals and we got those field goals, we win the game. No. It doesn't work like that. I'd love it to work like that, but it doesn't. So let's talk about Bryce Young. 26 of 46. Almost 300 yards. He goes 298 and gets himself a touchdown. Baker Mayfield goes 21 of 33, so a little bit more of a conversion rate there. And he goes 235 yards with a touchdown and 2 INTs. The one INT was ugly. The other one was just stupid. Chuba Hubbard. God bless him. Spat out the ball. Carried the ball 12 times. Got himself 43 yards. Bad day on the ball for him. That was good. But we did not shut down Bryce Young. And we'll come to that. Bucky Irvin, 25 carries, 152 with a touchdown. I love this shit. Let's go. Adam Thielen, 8 receptions, 99 yards, and a reception. The old dogs proved he still got it. But then you have Mike Evans, 8 receptions, 118 yards, and a touchdown to boot. Mike Evans gets that a little bit closer, and he didn't need the 99 point something yards or whatever bullshit they came up with. Those now become a little bit less. I hope he gets more. I think they just went to overtime so they could inflate Mike Evans' stats. Wishful thinking there. Let's look at the rest of this Buccaneer football team, though. From top to bottom, Kyle Trask goes in. He gets himself 1, and he gets himself 1 completion, 1 attempt. 5 yards on the play. I don't think he played bad, but it's hard to judge by 2 plays. So, we'll move on. Rashad White, 11 for 76. Baker Mayfield got himself 3 for 8. They did a really good job of getting to him and being able to, I don't know, stop him from making those positive yards that he normally would make. They heard the way up call, and they decided that they got their way up and play him. So fair enough. Sterling Shepard had an up and down game, but ultimately he got himself 4 receptions for 42 yards. Bucky Irvin 3 for 33. Jalen McMillan 2 for 25. Cade Otton 4 for 20. Cade Otton seems to have fallen off a cliff since Mike Evans has returned. I'm not sure why. That needs to be fucking sorted. I'm not a fan of it. Rashad White, very, 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 very quiet. 1 for 2. Trey Palmer, absolutely nothing. Levante David goes tackle assists and tackles, solo tackles to a tackle assist is 6-2. Antoine Winfield is 6-0. Yaya Diaby is 5-1. Anthony Nelson is 5-1. Jamal Dean is 4-1. JJ Russell is 4-1. Mike Edwards is 2-2. He did leave the game with an injury. Hopefully, he'll be back because we need safeties like me. We need them. So yeah, Thomas 2 for 1. Christianism with a really great tackle that he made, but he only went 1 for 1. Zion McCullum 1 for 1. Kalijah Cansey 1 for 1 with a sack, 1-0 with a sack. William Golston 1. Logan Hall 1. Vita Vea just 1 assist. So very quiet on that sense. Devin Cope nothing, and the rest of the guys got nothing. Would have liked to send the resurgence of Sean Tucker, if I'm brutally be honest, but I think he kind of played himself into the doghouse by coughing the ball. So what he did last week kind of hurts him, but I would have liked to have seen what he could do as a bit of a change-up when we were running out of answers. Raheem Jarrett, he did a bit here and there in the returning game, and then Bucky Irvin himself as well. So Chase McLaughlin, he does miss a field goal. It was a longer one, so I don't hate it. I'd like to have got it because it kind of ends the game, but we win anyway, so it doesn't really fucking matter. Let's look at this Panthers team. So Jonathan Brooks goes 6 for 18 on the ground. Bryce Young goes 3 for 17 on the ground. Adam Thielen, we already talked about. Tommy Tremble 5 for 77. Xavier Leggett 4 for 53. David Moore 5 for 40. Jonathan Brooks 3 for 25, and then Dan Terracina, if I pronounce his name right, 1 for 6. Defensively, they sacked Baker Mayfield a lot. I say a lot. 4 times. 2 INTs. Joe Jewell was the standout. He was the jewel. He stood out and he did his job. Joe Smith-Wade gets himself 6 for 2. That's tackles versus tackle assists. Xavier Woods 5 for 2. DJ Johnson 5-0. Ashawn Robinson 5-0. Jason Horn 3 for 3. Tevon Wallace 3 for 1. Ahmed Rano 3 for 1. Sorry, 2 for 1. Javidon Clowney sack and 2 for 1. DJ Wamam 2 for 1, and Cam Gill 2-0. LaBrian Ray 1 and 2. Shy Tuttle 1 and 2. Mike Jackson 1 and 1. Deshaun Williams 1 and 0. Jonathan Harris 0 and 1. Everyone else didn't record. So look, let's talk about this Buccaneer team. It was frustrating to watch. We kind of got off to a great start, and then it fizzled out fast. The Mike Evans touchdown was great to see. And I thought that was going to be the mark for this game. Not just Mike Evans, but being able to score at will, take the ball, drive it down the field, put it in the end zone. And a lot of us had them winning by a lot more. And it didn't turn out that way. Defense kind of gave it up a bit. This defense should be dropping this team into under 20. And this offense should be over 25. Now, I got over 25 due to overtime. Bucs fans, don't let it dishearten you. There's going to be a decision that's going to have to be made in Tampa when this is all said and done. And I'm going to talk about the ugly truth. The Buccaneer upstairs management, the ownership, Jason Light, have to decide what is the future for this Buccaneer team. Is it with Coach Bowles? Who every year, let's be honest, the defense has played weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. And yeah, some people can argue he doesn't have the horses. He's missing players. We don't have the pass rushers that we once had, for sure. Does that change everything? I don't know. And here's one of the big things, and this really resonates with me. A while ago, the Buccaneers drafted a quarterback called Jameis Winston. We had some fun times, but we didn't win. We did not win at all. But we like Jay Boa. I know I did, but he wasn't the winner. And still isn't. In his first year, he had what looked like a promising rookie, promising rookie year that you could build on. The Buccaneers management were tasked with a decision. Do we stick with this defensive coach who'd been to a Super Bowl and ultimately lost to Peyton Manning and a guy who basically taught him everything he knew? Or do we go with this guy who's been attached, shall we say, to our young signal caller, the offensive coordinator in Dirk Carter? We went with Dirk Carter. Ultimately, we had some fantastic offensive plays that we did pull off. Defense was terrible because he brought in his buddy, Mike Smith, who was a bit of a defensive guru back in the day, but his cover three just couldn't cut it. But what I'm saying is, with what happened with Canales, and Canales not getting the role, getting the role at the Panthers, which Byron couldn't get one. Byron Leftwich couldn't get one. Dave Canales could. He went to the Glitter Kitties, and he's been with them ever since. His first year, he's got 3 wins. It's not great. But with what he's got to work with, 3 wins is pretty fucking good. He's probably safe, right? And they may pick up another win at some point, hopefully against the Falcons if they play them again. And we'll talk about that, what the NFL future looks like. If Liam Cohen is being courted for a head coaching role, the Buccaneers have got a major decision to make. Because I mean this wholeheartedly. If Liam Cohen goes, I don't know if the Buccaneers can find another offensive coordinator that can just come in and do what he's done. I don't know. I don't think it's possible. So then you're looking at, do we go with Liam Cohen? Marry him, in my opinion. If I'm going down the Liam Cohen route, and I'm going to go down both routes, I'm going down the Liam Cohen route. And I hire Liam Cohen as my head coach. I need to marry him with a defensive coordinator that's had a lot of experience, potentially, as a head coach that knows defensive football, like a Brian Flores. I'm not saying Brian Flores, I'm just saying like a Brian Flores, who can come in and help him with the head coaching role as the assistant head coach / defensive coordinator. I've loved Coach Bowles. And a key word in that is loved. Because watching the football now that we're playing is disappointing. This cushion coverage where we're playing massively off in key situations. So when they got their touchdown in the second quarter, sorry, I do apologize. When they got their touchdown in the second quarter, or maneuvered themselves into position, we're playing that off-man zone coverage where corners are at the 10. They hit out route, which, let's face it, it's a guaranteed 5+. And it stops the clock because they've run out of bounds. When time is crucial for a team, surely you want to keep them in bounds. So I'm saying to you, go outside leverage. Let them play the inside. Give up the inside if you need to. And let a linebacker take their fucking head off. But we didn't. We lined up inside and we let them have the outside, and we let them have it. It's stuff like that I don't understand as a defensive guy myself. I don't think I'm better than any NFL head coach. Don't get that twisted. I don't. I know I have a long way to go. But when I see things that I don't understand, it frustrates me. I would never put a cornerback in that position in prevent coverage. And it's not like you're preventing a score. You're preventing points in general. Right? If you're preventing a touchdown, I get it. Have them at the 10. Fine. But it's all down to how many timeouts they have. Anyway, we'll get to that in another day. What I'm trying to say here is, guys, we don't play situational football that well on the defensive side of the ball. We don't. Or it doesn't feel like we do. And when we got it, we got it. But today, I just don't think we play situations very well. And I don't know if this team would get better. Now, I know that he's well liked in the locker room. I know Levante David stands for him. I know pretty much anyone from the Super Bowl team loves and respects Bowles to the highest degree. But Buccaneer fans, there is an opportunity to go down the new trend, and that trend is to go with an offensive-minded coach. It seems to work for most teams. Marry him with a defensive coordinator that's been a head coach, that has that experience, like a Mike Zimmer. And I think you get a lot of experience, and I think you get a lot of wisdom from that. I'm not calling to fire anybody because it's not my call. I'm just venting how unimpressed I am with this defense. I can't believe that I'm sat watching a Todd Bowles defense just allow a team go up the field. It's not good enough. This team right now isn't good enough to do what Coach Bowles likes to do. Let you churn clock, get into the red zone, and we knock you out, and you kick a field goal. There are times they did it pretty well. They did it pretty well in the third quarter, and they did it for the most part. They did it pretty well in the fourth quarter. But when a team is desperate to gain yards because the game is on the line, that is when you need to step the fuck up. That's when you tighten the ship. You batten down the hatches and you fire the fucking cannon. You don't let the blind fucking rookie just fucking right the ship and hope he doesn't crash. Because that's what it felt like in that fourth quarter when they had an opportunity to do. It was frustrating. And I don't want to see that again. And that's where people look at Coach Bowles and go, yeah, he can call defense. Situationally, sometimes poorly. But he can get a bit messed up in situational football. He struggles, in my opinion, he struggles with situational football. And I don't know if that's because he's got PTSD from the Rams game. And if I would say this, I never had a problem with what he did in the Rams game. I don't. Because that's a man sticking to his guns. I just wished he continued it. Or learn a little from it and go, right, there's situations I can do this in and there's situations I cannot do this in. That might have been one of them. His whole thing is about putting pressure on. It's hard to do when you don't have the horses. I get that. But by God, thank God for our fucking backup dude in Anthony Nelson. Because without him, that game was sunk. Some great plays to get down the field. And Baker Mayfield, I still fucking think you're my quarterback. People want, or the public wants, Joe Public want a quarterback that's never going to make a mistake. That's never going to throw picks. And those quarterbacks don't exist. They just don't. Like, go and look at other people's stats. If you've got a quarterback that's thrown 2 more picks than the best guy, is it that big of a deal? Then go look at the fumbles. Then go look at the yards. And then you add it all up and you go, and then you look at what you're paying them. I would rather have a solid, good to great quarterback and surround him with elite talent than have an elite quarterback like Mahomes surrounded with nobody. I mean, yeah, okay, he's got Kelsey. That shit will dry up eventually. Once that happens, they can't keep doing it. It's not sustainable. Bucs fans, all I'm going to say now is enjoy your victory Monday. You deserve it. You just sat through a shower of shit where we should have whooped a team and we didn't. It don't matter because we won the game. We're still alive in the race. The Buccaneers can learn from this and they can get better. But enjoy it. Whatever you do, whether you drink your beer, whether you have a shot, whether you eat donuts, whatever. For me, I'm on the run. Probably play a little bit of Madden. Go to bed. Bucs fans, we got games to go, and let's have a little look around the NFL of what happened. So on Thanksgiving, on the 28th of November, the Bears fucked it up. They fucked it up. And that is why your head coach got fired. Yeah, that was the dumbest thing anyone could do. I don't want anyone to blame no Caleb Williams. I'm not a big fan of him. I really am not. But that's a head coaching decision. Whether you fucking call a fucking timeout. Or at least scream down the fucking microphone that you should fucking spike the ball. Are we surprised that the Dallas Cowboys scraped a win against the Giants? Nope. Packers beat the Dolphins? No shock there. Oh, look, another team the Chiefs scraped by another team. The Chiefs aren't impressive. The Chiefs, and this is my thing on the Chiefs. The Chiefs will play to their opposition, whether they're good or they're bad. And then Mahomes will do what Mahomes does and they win the game. That is their MO right now. The best way to beat him is beat Mahomes. No hope Mahomes is no hope Chiefs. Colts beat the Patriots. Vikings somehow scrape a win against the Cardinals. I saw that one earlier. Seahawks beat the Jets. The Commanders whooped the Titans. The Chargers. God bless the San Diego Superchargers. Sorry, LA Superchargers. For whooping that ass. Because we need that, guys, because we are now 500 and the Falcons are 500. Yes, they have the tiebreaker. If we can keep this momentum and they only pip one more game and we keep this momentum, that's what I want to see. Steal it from those fucking Falcons. I am sick to death of the media hype of a fucking 6-6 bullshitty fucking Falcons team. What have they done? Got all this fucking talent. They ain't got injuries like we have. All this fucking talent. We had Chris Godwin back. I guarantee you, if Chris and Mike never got injured, I'd say we got 8 wins right now. Guaranteed you. I'd say we would have won the Falcons game and we'd have won the Niners game for sure. That's just my belief. And obviously we would have won today. That's a very different fucking story. But everyone fucking glazed on these fucking fail fucking clowns. Texans beat the Jags. Steelers beat the Bengals. And of course, we do our job and we beat the Panthers in ugly fashion. Rams beat the Taints. Thank you. Thank you, Rams. Love that shit. And to break a few of my friends' hearts, the Eagles clipped the fucking Ravens. Of course, now you got the Niners versus the Bills. That'll be an interesting one, but I think the Bills will take it. So let's look forward to our division. What means we have the Raiders at home. We have the Raiders, so we need to win that one. And the Vikings are up against the Falcons. This is huge because it's in Minneapolis. Vikings need to stay alive. Let's just have a little snippet of what the Vikings have got to do these days. So the Vikings right now. Vikings right now are second in their division. So a win will put them equal with the Lions. I'm not saying the Lions will lose, but they want to keep winning. They are hungry. Yeah, you can say the Falcons are hungry, but the Falcons just picked the game anyway. So Falcons are staying. The Vikings are staying alive because they just won their game. They're staying alive. They're like the fucking Bee Gees right now. Yeah, staying alive. I hope they go all over the fucking Falcons. We do the job against the Raiders. We are now in front in the division. That's fucking huge, guys. Saints will probably, Panthers will probably lose to the Eagles, and the Saints will probably beat the Giants. But those guys are way too far out. The forecast is the Cowboys will probably beat the Panthers in the following week. The Buccaneers have the Chargers, which is their game that could be the one that trips them up. This is the one they have to win. Let's look at it from a different perspective. I'm just trying to find out where the Saints are playing. Or the Falcons. Falcons have the Raiders. That'll be a tough game for them. But ultimately, I want the Raider Nation to rise the fuck up and put that ass down. Going into the following week. Buccaneers have the Cowboys. Sunday Night Football. Win that one. I'd say we're in. It's done. I don't think I think if we can keep this momentum going, just going to bring up KGH, or I always call him Nye for life. I don't know why. He'll tell me if it's KGH. It might stand for something. We can finally run the football. Absolutely. And it's a beautiful thing to see. The Buccaneers have been lacking it. I'm hoping we can get more out of this Russian team. It makes us so fucking balanced, and it makes you a fucking real threat. Big fan of what we're doing right now. Bucky Irvin has himself 580 yards. He's not going to hit the 1,000-yard mark, right? But collectively, with the running back situation that we have, we probably will. So we already have. And that's all that matters. We want consistency with this team, and we've had it all the way through from him. But, you go back to the Commanders game, 62. Lions, 22. That was a fucking good team. Broncos, 70. Eagles, 49. 44, 81. Ravens, 23. We had to pass it a lot. 44 against the Falcons. 24 versus the Chiefs. 73, 88. And it's getting stronger with the 1-5-2. Bucs fans, I'm pretty much done here. As you can tell, I've got a very hoarse voice. I'll see you all guys on Wednesday when we do the aftermath, which is when we unpack this win and really go to town on it. Everyone's going to you'll let that fucking feeling of how we won, how we got to where we are, for men. There'll be people that are happy about it, people who aren't happy about it. Not that we won, but the fashion of how we won. We'll unpack that. We'll look ahead, see if we can bust this Raiders fucking football team. A new one. Matt Trotter is going to be a problem, but that's the only problem I really, really see. I mean, I know they have other players, but that's the real problem you got to set. But I think Luke Getteke and our boys up front, I think we can deal with it. I generally do. I don't know how this team generated pressure, but they found a way. Fair play to the Panthers. They should not have done as well as they did in pressure against this Buccaneer front five. Just shouldn't have happened. Without further ado, there, guys. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs. See you Wednesday. See you at the aftermath. Me, my bro host with the most, AJ Turnip, and that's me out.
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes till the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team,